welcome back to my channel. Long time no talk, film, upload. I know it's just no, soon you'll know. That's all I'm gonna say. Today's video, I'm gonna do like a co-parenting Q&A slash single mom Q&A. If you're new here, I'm not in the eyes of the law, I'm a single mother because me and Anthony are not married. However, we are together, we are living together, we have a kid together, our finances are together, everything is together. So I'm not technically a single mom, but I do have a child from a previous relationship, and I was a single mom from when Gio was right before he turned 3 till right before he turned 5. So I did live the single mom life. And so I have some questions I'm going to answer about that, as well as co-parenting questions. So I'm going to find the questions. How long did it take for you to get past the heartbreak phase, if that makes sense? I'm assuming they're talking about when I broke up with Gio's father. Honestly, it wasn't that hard, and that sounds horrible to say, just because he was a truck driver, so he was never around. I already got used to him not being around physically, and we were just not getting along. We were arguing all the time. It was not a good relationship, so it wasn't hard for me to move on. It was hard financially because he was the main breadwinner and I was not working. I was just in school, so I kind of had to figure that out. In terms of mentally or anything like that, it wasn't that hard because, like I said, we didn't get along and we weren't really never around each other because he was always on the road. So it wasn't that hard for me. If you're struggling with it, the best thing I can say is literally only time. Only time can heal. And it sounds cliche, but literally time. Time, like I used to, I was going to church a lot. I was hanging out with my friends a lot more, becoming more independent. I had just time, and time was what helped me like really put me and Gio in a good situation where we were happy and thriving and living our life. A question not related about co-parenting, but how many years are between your children and how do you manage that? So Gio and Lennox are 6 years apart. At first I thought it was going to be easy just because, wow, Gio's 6 years old, so he's older, and you know, it wouldn't be that hard to manage both two. But actually it was really hard in the beginning because Gio was older. Gio was more basically independent. He didn't need me as much. Of course, I was still taking care of him, feeding, cooking for him, but I didn't need to do things for him 24/7. And then I had a baby and I was like, oh shit, I'm back to catering to someone 24/7. You know what I'm saying? So it was a hard adjustment. I would say the first 8 months was hard. And I managed that just by asking for help. I never felt shame for asking people for help. If they want to help and they're willing, take the help. Your pride, put the pride aside. I always take the help. Tag in Anthony. That's how I managed the difference in age and how I adjusted to it. How did I support me and Gio when I was a single mother? I was working at a call center and I was actually doing pretty good for myself. I was making hourly plus bonus. I would do overtime whenever I could. And I just managed my money. I did end up getting a roommate at one point. So since Gio was older, we did just decide to, Gio was younger. We did just share a room. He had his own bed. I had my own bed in our room. Our room was big enough. And I did get a roommate, and that helped me towards the end to save up my money and manage my money. But I had a roommate, and I worked at the call center. And I just worked. I worked and I managed my money. What's the deal with Gio's father? So Gio's father is very much involved in his life. Almost 50% of the time he's with his dad. I have him majority, but still close to 50% of the time it is between us. There's no way for someone to have the kid exactly 50%. I'm sure there's a way, but not with our lifestyle. It's not. He's a truck driver. He's gone often. He's home. He has his child. He's very much involved in his life. That's that answer. What is on your son's birth certificate? On my son's birth certificate is their fathers. It's me and their fathers. I didn't leave them off their birth certificate. I did not leave Gio's father off of his birth certificate because he was there. He's still there. He was there, even though we broke up and we're no longer together. He's still very much an involved father. Do you feel bad that your son doesn't have a normal family? Honestly, no. I don't feel bad. Obviously it would be ideal to have your mom and your dad be together, but I don't feel bad. I know that he has 2 sets of parents that love him. I know he's well taken care of. I know it was the best for his mom's mental health and probably his father's as well. I can't speak for him. It was just the best case scenario for him and his environment. Sorry if the lighting's changing, guys. It's a pretty gloomy day out. And if you hear the showers, because Gio's deciding to take a shower right now. Yeah, I don't feel bad. I think it's the best case scenario for him. He has parents who love him. And he's not in a situation where his parents are arguing and just going through life just to say that his 2 parents are together. I think this is the best case scenario, and I think that he's thriving in the situation. More kids. So Anthony wants 1 more. I feel like we could be good. Like, if we don't have any more, I'd be fine, honestly. But we probably will have 1 more, just 1 more. And the way I see it is, like, you'll never regret having another kid. Like, there's a quote, like, you never regret having kids, you just regret the kids you don't have, if that makes sense. So it's like, I'm not gonna have that 1 more and be like, oh, I should have stopped that too. Well, I would hope so. There's probably 1 more in our future, don't know when, and it's definitely not right now. Peeves about the other parents' parenting style. Being on a schedule, like, to me, I think kids thrive on schedule and routine, and from what I noticed, and obviously I'm not in their household, so I don't know, but from what I noticed, they don't have as much as that we would have, and that would be just one thing that would bother me. But it's his house, and I can't tell him how to do things in his house, so I just gotta deal with it. Do you guys do activities together? No. We have been at a function together for me and Anthony, and then Gio's dad and Gio's dad's girlfriend. We were all at the function together, and it was fine, but we don't do that regularly, unfortunately. Just, we're not at the place right now. Yeah, we're just not at that place right now. Hopefully in the future, but we're not there yet. Is it hard to share Gio? Absolutely, it's hard. And it was hardest, I mean, it was always hard. It was hardest when Gio was younger, because he was younger and he, like, it's your baby. Obviously now Gio's more independent, so he can kind of tell me, like, yeah, I do want to go to daddy's, and if he wants to go, he wants to go, and I'm okay. I'm more okay with knowing that he's okay with going, versus when he was little, it was just he had to go. So now that he's older and he can speak and he can kind of say, I want to stay with mommy, or I want to stay with daddy a couple days longer, it's easier. Does it make you feel some type of way knowing he will be around the girl? Well, he's already around his dad's girlfriend. Sometimes I'm bothered just because this girl, sometimes I feel like she doesn't mind her role, and that's what bothers me. But I know that she loves and cares for Gio, so it's kind of give and take. I mean, I can't expect to have Anthony around Gio, taking care of him, helping me taking care of him, and helping me raise him, and then not expect that from his father's end. Do you get child support? Everyone loves to ask this question. Everyone has opinions about this. Child support, yes, I do get child support. I filed for child support back then when we initially separated, because me and him were not in a place where we could agree on anything, including financial situation. Obviously, it goes straight to Gio's well-being and his life. How do we stay in sync on discipline issues? Gio overall is a pretty good kid, and I don't say it just because, like, oh, my son's so good. Like, he really is a pretty good kid. Sometimes he does have a problem being a little lazy, or talking back, but I mean, that's just things that they have to learn. It's not often that we have to come together to talk about discipline issues. When Gio's over here, the way I discipline is I'll probably just take a privilege away from him and he has to earn it back. If it comes to that, we just talk about it on the phone, like, hey, this is what's going on with him, and that way when he's at his father's house, it's not like a party, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, if he gets in trouble in school, I'm not gonna be the only one disciplining him, where he's only having trouble, like he's only in trouble here, but then when he goes over there, it's a party. Like, we have to be on the same page for big things, but that doesn't come up often. Does that make sense? Responsible for pickups, drop-offs, and transportation. So basically, if it's my day with Gio, I provide that. If it's Gio's day with his dad, he'll provide that. So like, if it's Gio's day, if it's, oh sorry, this is confusing, Giovanni and Giovanni's dad have the same name. I call my son Gio and I call his dad Giovanni. Does that make sense? Okay. So if it's his dad's day to pick him up, his dad picks him up, or his girlfriend picks him up. That's for him to figure out. And if it's my day, it's my day to figure out. How do you guys decide to approve or disapprove new extracurricular activities? So basically, if I put Gio in an extracurricular activity, I make sure that the schedule is going to fall on the days that I would typically have him. If I know it's not 100%, I'm most likely, unfortunately, not going to put him in that activity, just for the simple fact that his dad is not very dependable on schedule related things, and I don't want to waste my money and time and effort fighting over that type of stuff. So I just choose things that I know is going to fall on my days, and he has to do the same thing unless we mutually agree. Then you decide who your children's primary physician is. So basically, Gio's had the same doctor his entire life, literally since he was born. His primary physician, he's been going to that person his whole life, so we didn't change that once we separated. It is what it is. It stayed what it stayed. Everyone knows where the location of that is, so it's not something that had to be changed. Who gets to decide where your children goes to school? So since I do have majority, not by much, but I do have majority, I get to choose the school zone and the school that Gio gets to go to. Basically, it's wherever I live. You get to divide your time during the holidays. So we have alternating holidays. So let's say I had Christmas this last year, he'll get Christmas this year. If I had Easter last year, he'll get Easter this year, and we switch alternating days. So you guys schedule vacations. It's basically split down the middle. If it's 2-week vacation, I'll get the first week, he'll get the second week. Unless we decide to mutually agree on another agreement. That is it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I am doing a giveaway at 250 subscribers, so let's get there. Any video recommendations you want to see down below so I can film it for you, and I hope you guys are staying safe and staying positive as much as you can during this quarantine. It'll be over before we know it, so we just gotta hold in there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.